Now, the conservatory order sought and dismiss the application by the respondents. Finally, my ladies, my lords, I invite you to look at the submissions filed by the Attorney General in support of the application. Of most importance, my ladies, my lords, the Attorney General at page 6 of her submissions invites you to look at a conservatory order, sorry, not page 6, my ladies. That is page 5. As one that is meant to maintain the status quo. And she tells you, my ladies, my lords, that the status quo to be preserved is a status quo ante. That is to mean that the status quo that the court needs to preserve is the approval and the voting of Mr. Kindiki. That is, according to her, the status quo that she needs to be preserved. And she makes out a case that the conservatory order needs to be set aside so that that status quo can be sustained. There can never be anything that is far from the truth, my ladies, my lords. The orders of Justice Mwongo stayed each and every aspect that took place, including the implementation of the resolution by Parliament to consider the first petitioner as impeached. She further tells you in her submissions that conservatory orders are only capable of being granted under Article 23 of the Constitution. And she argues that Article 23 only relates to the Bill of Rights. And then she further argues that if the petition is not premised on violation or infringement or denial of a human right, then conservatory orders, according to her, are not capable of being granted by the court. But my ladies, my lords, we have put up a case that a right to a fair hearing was denied. We have put up a case that the Senate of the Republic of Kenya decided to abrogate Article 25 of the Constitution. If that is not a question that relates to a Bill of Rights, what then does it relate to? Further to that, my ladies, my lords, under Article 258 of the Constitution, to which we are saying that the Constitution has been abrogated and violated by the respondents, what remedy can the court issue in the circumstances that a case is brought out that the Constitution has been abrogated and violated by the respondents, if it's not a conservatory order? My ladies, my lords, finally, as I pen off, I invite you to look at the principles of public interest. It is in the public interest, my ladies, my lords, that these orders be sustained so that the Republic of Kenya can have the opportunity of the court pronouncing itself whether their democratically elected deputy president was justifiably removed and lawfully removed from office. That is to mean, your ladies, my lords, that under Article 38 of the Constitution, the people who supported the deputy president have a legitimate expectation. A legitimate expectation that their deputy president, as elected, will be subjected to a proper and accountable and transparent mechanism of removal. They also have a legitimate expectation that if any organ constituted by the Constitution does fail to abide by the dictates of the Constitution, that this court will uphold that position and that this court will set aside the impeachment. And the consequences of that, my ladies, my lords, is that if this court is convinced by our argument to set aside the impeachment, the question will then be that the deputy president will assume office. Number two, my ladies, my lords, you'll be urged to set aside the conservatory orders on the basis that there is constitutional crisis that is looming. But who has precipitated and created this constitutional crisis, if it does exist, if not the respondents? If they followed the law to the letter, and we feel satisfied that our client was justifiably removed from office, we would not be before you, my ladies, my lords. We would have taken an ample pie and go home. But we are here before you, my ladies, my lords, because a situation has been precipitated and created by the respondents. Finally, my ladies, my lords, if the respondents are the ones who are at fault, do they deserve your mercy? What is the position of equity if they come to you with dirty hands? Do they deserve your mercy? He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. They are the transgressors and the violators of the Constitution. And therefore, my ladies and my lords, they cannot come before you as though they are saints. I so urge you, my ladies, my lords, to dismiss that application and uphold the application for the maintenance or for the retaining of the conservatory orders. I am most humbled.
Thank you.